the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie in shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore. Three brothers.
Three Brothers. Welcome. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome, random people who have clicked this by accident. Welcome. It's good to have you all here. And we hope to get many of those. Please click by accident. Stick around. You may learn a thing or two. Welcome to this week's Three Brothers podcast. It's time again for your favorite
There it is.
Brothers. Again, welcome. Thanks for joining us this week. And again, get your friends to accidentally click. It'd be great. It's great to be here. We have a blast every time we do this. We hope you've enjoyed the first couple episodes we've made. We have a good time. We hope you have a good time. We just hope that people get something out of this, whether it's entertainment or whatever else it is. It's certainly a fun time for us. So, first things first, people, as you have probably seen the pattern, we like to do a bit of an update first as to, well, firstly, anything interesting from the week from you other brothers. I know it's been a real brutal week, actually, a bit of a busy one.
Yeah, it's been a doozy. I haven't done anything anything really noteworthy this week, to be honest. So I'm happy to skip.
So yeah, I had a couple things that were interesting this week. So, well, first off, as those might know, Ashley has been like going through IVF, and so this last couple, 6 months has been just like absolutely disastrous. So if anybody knows like all the medications they put you on, and so it's been rough. Ashley has, been handling it a lot better in public than she is when she gets home. So it's been hard here for me and the kids, but this last week's been really rough because it's like this is now when we're going into the phase of like where they're gonna try to like get one to stick, and we only have two. So after 6 months, there's only two that are alive, and so
Wow.
they're gonna, yeah. So yeah, basically we ran the math, and it was like
Do they put them in at the same time? Is that, sorry to cut you off?
no,
Do they
it's
put them
one
in-
at a time.
No. Okay.
Yeah, one at a time, and there's like somewhere between a 70 to 80% chance if it's alive that it will stick. And so like there's not even a guarantee in that phase. But like we went through the cycling, and each cycle's so expensive, but it's like you have like between 10, if you're lucky you have like between 10 to like 16, and then like based off of like the health of the eggs and yada 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 is how many you'll have that live through it. And yeah, we had two. So like in two cycles, so like 2 out of 32. And so like most women, when they obviously ovulate, they only have like one a month. So like it was like it let you know that our chances of getting pregnant were like one in 12 months. It was like less than that. And so and just the odds of that. So anyway, so it's been pretty rough. And so there's this experience that happened to me this week that was pretty crazy. And I did get permission to share it. So I'll say that at the end of it, I did get permission to share it. And so I'm sitting there and I won't say what the task I was doing, but I was doing this task and it was basically a pointless, meaningless task. In fact, Topher said before we went live something about productive tasks versus unproductive tasks. I was doing a very unproductive task, but it was important to me. And I was sitting there and I was doing it, and I had spent hours on this task, and it looked like it was all going to be ruined. It looked like it was toast and there was nothing I could do to fix it. And I looked in multiple plays. I was Googling things, figuring out code. Like I was figuring out how to fix this problem, and I just couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out. And I was so upset that I was going to lose all of this completely pointless, frivolous thing. And all of a sudden, as I was sitting there, it was instantaneous. I had this idea, this very weird, unorthodox idea, and just hit me. And I just was like, whoa, what? And I just was like, there's no way that would work. Like, there's no way that would work. And then I did it and it worked. And it was in shock for a couple seconds. And then I just had this realization that this was from the Lord. The Lord had obviously given me this information, and I just sat there and I just like cried for like an hour. And because it was like I didn't ask for it. Like it was one of the like those few moments in my life that I can point to where I can say like it was what the scriptures refer to as a tender mercy. Like it was something it was something I didn't ask for. It was something that I didn't even expect. It was on a task that was completely and utterly pointless. Like it was just it served no value in the scheme of things, right? Like it was like the difference between eating a nice pork sandwich or whatever and eating a kale sandwich. Like it was something like that, you know? And it had no meaning in the long scheme of things, but yet the Lord knew that it was important enough to me, and He gave it to me without even asking. He just knew I was in that moment that I needed some comfort, and He gave that to me. After I was just sitting there in just awe that this had happened and how nice it was. I was like, "Can I share this?" And I received the answer, "Yeah, you absolutely can share this." And but it also confirmed to me once again the idea or the false notion that people keep wrapping their arms around, that the Lord blesses you with the emotion of love or the emotion of feeling loved and comforted, when that's not how the Holy Ghost works. And it's the Lord it works through the Holy Ghost, which is intelligence, is the mind of God. And he works in this way. Like this is how He worked. I feel loved? You better believe it. But He didn't just send me the emotion love. He gave me intelligence in a way that He knew that I would know it was from Him, and that
You could
would
recognize it was His love.
I could recognize it was love. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. It's an action. It's an intelligence. It's discernible. It's perceivable. Light perceives light. And I was just really grateful for that moment this week.
Mm.
I was just really
That's
grateful
really
for that
cool.
for most week.
It's just like how people ask for patience, but the Lord doesn't just bless you with patience, but He'll certainly bless you with opportunities to learn patience. Or if you ask for strength, well, He'll give the opportunity to gain strength, but He can't necessarily just bestow it upon you. And the same thing with you want to feel His love. Well, I mean, I guess He can show love in many, many ways, but I get that feeling. I understand that gratitude when the Lord, and you said tender mercies, right? When you feel those tender mercies, and it's something like, and again, something so meaningless to anyone else or whatever,
Yeah.
but it meant something to you, and then you know that God loves you enough that He'll take note of the meaningless thing in your life and
Yes.
help it to work out. And then like, how do you not feel His love from that? It's like basically we're like ants in an anthill, and He's like, you know, a human standing over the anthill, and like he cares enough about one of the ants. Do you know what I mean? Like what one of those ants does. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just one of his billions of children, but he cares enough about like what could be a silly thing. But yeah, that's really cool. Really cool story. Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
And also,
it's interesting to think. Oh,
okay,
you go.
no, you
I was
go.
just going to
Go
say
ahead.
it's really interesting to think that he can be in the small details of our lives, and I think it's important to look for and recognize those moments as well as the big ones as well. So I think people are like, oh, someone smiled at me today, so that's God, that's Jesus, and whilst that's good, and we should recognize him in the small things, um, even in the larger moments in our lives, sometimes we fail to recognize him too. So he's in all the details. Like reminds me of Enoch when he saw God weeping, and he's like, man, I've seen the stuff you've created, and you're weeping over this. He's like, you care about even these little guys running around going crazy and doing all the wrong things. You care about that, and it's just lovely to think that in those little moments, he still cares and he still pays attention and he knows what's going on. So that's a really good reminder for the week. I think it's a great reminder for everybody.
Mm. Just want to say as well, in regard to your IVF journey, like we love you guys. We love you, Ashley. We hope everything goes well. It must be hard. It always blows my mind, and it's one of those things, one of those funny things, right? Like some people who don't even want kids will have them so easy.
It's a juxtaposition.
The
It's a
juxtaposition.
we got one.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a juxtaposition. Some people who don't want kids, and you could say, I mean, don't deserve them. We'll have them. Like it's no problem. And then someone you're going to be a great parent and really really wants them has the struggle. And again, it is what it is. God works in mysterious ways, and but we'll be praying for you. Know it's rough. We'll be praying for you and hope it works out. And
Amen.
yeah, we love you, Ashley. Hope you're okay because it can't be nice, can't be fun.
No.
Oh, the only thing I'll mention for this week, it's been a heck of a week. Like I said, I'm back at work, and so I've got all that coming back after 2 months off, which sounds ridiculous, but there's so many things going on. But the one thing I will mention is myself and Ammon, we went and gave our dad a blessing this week, which was kind of a really nice experience. One of those scenarios, one of those times as a priesthood holder where, because like I said, our dad's not well, right? But he's not immediately going to die or anything. But it's one of those times where potentially the person's got something serious, and they've asked for a blessing, and you've got to give a blessing, and you just hope, like we both fasted. I fasted all day. I think Ammon fasted all day in preparation for it, wanting to just make sure that we're able to be instruments in the Lord's hands to give a blessing that the Lord will be happy with, and that will speak His words. And it's just funny, man, because our dad, he's classic, and he goes, "This is what I want, right? This is what I want." He's on immunotherapy for a cancer. He's like, "This is what I want from you. I want you to bless me that this immunotherapy works." I'm like, I don't think that's how this works.
To stretch that out a little, bless me that the immunotherapy works, so I don't have to have a 6-hour
Yeah.
surgery to remove cancer.
Uh,
He's like, that's what I want
Yeah.
you to do. All right, guys?
yeah. It's so funny. I'm like, I don't think that's how this works. So you'll get what you get, and we'll see how we go. Anyway, it was really nice. It was a really good experience. It was really nice to be able to do that with my brother, to be able to bless our father. And it's one of those times, pretty kind of a rare time, and not necessarily a good occasion, but a kind of a nice experience. And yeah, so that was this week, and it was good, I suppose, for a bad situation.
It was really good.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
I
So,
appreciate it.
anyone else want to mention anything else before we move on here? We'll talk about our commitment from last week and this week, or not from last week. So, last week's commitment, if you recall, I believe it tied into the spiritual thought, wasn't it, that Micah gave at the end? And it was about not hiding your flame. and sharing your light, and opening your mouth, being an example. Open your mouth, share the three brothers. I mean, at the end of the day, that's tongue in cheek. I don't think the most important thing to share in the world is the Three Brothers podcast, but I think certainly sharing your light and being an example is important in all things, in all times, and in all places. Don't hide your light. Don't hide what you've got, and sharing that. And so, hopefully, anyone listening to this, hopefully you kept that commitment and you strive to live it. I certainly I strive to, as we'd say, strive in the church, striving to keep our covenants, keep our commitments, and share our light. Hopefully you did too. You guys want to
Got
add
a couple
anything?
of, yeah, I got a couple for this week.
Oh, good.
Firstly, we were having I was having a team meeting. I've got a little team at work, just a couple of us, and we're having a little meeting and talking about innovation and potentially utilizing AI for efficiency and stuff. And I was like, you know what? AI is really cool. You know, these days you can create music and really cool songs, and you can use AI to create like a video to match the music. Here, check this out. And I played them the whole Three Brothers
Nice.
clip, and they're like, "Wow, that's so cool. That's you. That's." it was it was really really cool. So sharing the Three Brothers, I definitely shared the Three Brothers, and I don't, apart from the people I work with, I barely see any other humans that are not members of the church. I sort of
Mm,
go to work, see them, go home, see my family every single day of the week, and then I go to church on Sunday. So I don't have a lot of other opportunities face to face with people. But there was that one, and then just another one, another aside as far as like sharing the gospel during the week. The missionaries in my ward texted me and they said, "Hey, do you mind just recording a testimony of something?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I actually like doing that because I think it's handy for them to use in a lesson if they can't physically get someone with them." And so I go, "Oh yeah, cool, I can do that. When do you need it? I'm going into a meeting right now." And it was 10 a.m. And they're like, and I went to the meeting. When I got out, they were like, "Oh, we've already we've already done it." It's like, oh dang, they
that's
didn't give me
actually
much time.
that's interesting because the missionaries that we've had in our ward, they used to do that all the time. I've recorded many a testimony, voice memo.
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
many calls, like Zoom calls to an investigator because I couldn't get to an appointment and they had no one, done that, or sorry, a friend. And but I'm sure they've said recently they're not allowed to do that anymore, at least not do random testimonies and share them like without
Well, in that
either being
case,
on a
they didn't
call or.
ask me to do nothing. They didn't call
No,
me.
yeah, I mean,
They didn't ask, they didn't.
no, it's just because I think
Hey,
they
you
didn't
know
want
what?
to. They were
You
doing
know
it too
what?
much. Like,
I'll take them asking me to give a testimonial in a video over them sending someone a dancing video all day.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that over a dance.
One thing actually that I'll mention as well. This because did you have anything else, Simon? I don't want to
Nope,
if
that
while
was
you're on a
those
roll.
two.
No.
Nope.
So one thing, and this isn't like
While he's on a roll,
in pride.
throwing the missionaries under the bus. Keep,
No,
keep, keep going.
I didn't say nothing about
uh,
the missionaries.
so there's a lady at work, and I've kind of known her for I don't know, it must be nearly 10 years because it's a long story, but she's a really really nice lady, and she just turned 40, and sometimes we'll have like heart to hearts and combos at work, and she's got no kids. And I said to her, I said, hey, like, and you got to be careful at work when you talk to people about their personal life, right? Like, you can't just be like, why don't you have kids? Things like this. But like, it came up sort of, and I was able to sort of get in there. I was like, hey, why don't you have any kids? And she's like, oh, we're not sure if we want to have kids. And I was like, please do it. It'd be a real shame for a good person like yourself not to bring like kids. She's not a member of the church or anything. That doesn't matter necessarily. Like she's a good person, and I think not enough good people have kids anyway. So and she was like, oh, okay, da 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 da. Anyway, I met with her yesterday, and she's now like halfway through a pregnancy, and she didn't say this, but it awfully coincided very very well with me having that talk with her, and so anyway, it's nice. I just was kind of really pleased with that. It's not really sharing light or anything, but I think not enough good people are having kids anymore. The birth rates are down, and anyway, it was just kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
That is kind of nice.
but I will mention the church at any opportunity I get. You know what I mean? Same with Ammon, man. We only go like to work and jujitsu and then home. You know, it's like where else do you see people? And if I have any chance to talk about gospel stuff with anyone, I will gladly take that opportunity. You know,
Prove it.
we
It's
talk
not
about
like
it
you
at
do it
work.
on. It's not like you do it online 24/7.
Yeah, but it's a difference in real life. You know, there's sort of a different, like it's a different dynamic. And I'll talk about it with my team at work whenever if anyone ever asks a question, boy, buckle up. You're going to sit down. We're going to talk about it for a couple hours.
You asked.
You asked. Here it is. Yeah.
You asked for it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything from? Oh, did Micah say?
Yeah, Micah.
Want to add anything?
Nope, I'm good.
No, you're good. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm just enthralled with this drawing in the background here. Just dotting the I's. So if you scroll down, was there anything else on this that I needed to mention?
No.
No, that's it. Burn brightly like
That's it.
candlesticks. There you go. That was the commitment. All right. Awesome. Okay, next. What is it? The comment of the week? Comment of the week? Oh, yeah. Guess what it is?
Go. You like
You like surprises?
You like surprises?
There we go.
Where are we going? Around.
There we go. Comment of the week. That's like times 100. So everyone in Discord's like, Tofi, your mic sucks. Like you're cutting in and out. It's garbage. You sound like a robot. What's going on? You sound like a pilot. What's happening? Da 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 da. So true. Yes, true. And it kills me, to be honest with you. I hope it sounds better tonight. The guys said it sounds a bit better. So it turns out that the problem is it's very, very hot in Australia. And I had this huge whopping fan. It's literally the size of, it's ginormous and it's just blowing on me to keep me from dying in here. I've turned it off to remove that as a thing. And I think my noise cancelling was fighting against the fan and blah, 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 and cutting off my voice and making it sound metallic and what have you. So hopefully it sounds better this week. I actually was going to bring home a really nice mic from work and I forgot. And so whatever. And this headset's 10 years old. So if it doesn't improve, if this doesn't improve, I'll do something else. I'll figure it out. So thanks for the feedback, people. Yes, my mic was awful and good times. Love that.
Much better now.
Thanks.
Sounds much, much better.
Hopefully, yeah. And also, I think Ammon was saying I had it too close to my mouth, so it was also a problem.
Yep.
So hopefully some better. I want to draw a microphone. How come how do you make the drawing bigger? Like, how do you make the sizing bigger? You're like the thickness of your...
click on the draw on the left. It's right underneath the text thing. You click on draw and then go down to line width.
There we go. Oh, look at that. That's much better. There we go. Microphone.
We got the important things figured out. We know how to make our paint bigger. That's good.
Good. Thanks for your comment. Thanks for your comments, people. Keep them coming. Say whatever you want. We'll talk about it if it's worth talking about.
The
next one's a good one.
I told them that I tamed that. We had that tamed down a little bit. Ashley tamed that down. I said, I said that the mic sucks. You know what? Literally everyone. And Ashley was like, I think I'll say something else. I think we should probably have it say something a little nicer.
A woman's touch here is not a bad thing.
No. Yeah.
Keep me under control because I could slide really quick. It could get ugly really fast. Okay, so
I'm looking forward to hearing the answer to this one, actually.
Okay, so question of the week.
Question of the week.
Thank you.
Forgot to do those.
Forgot it already. Follow up. Question of the week. Why does my mic suck? Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So this is a question from Stephanie E. Micah, I've always wondered what made you jump on Brother G, that's Brother Guerrero, and the other guy's channel, and I just put in here the last dispensation. That was Troy to be a guest, knowing they were on the road to priestcraft, Stephanie E. So to answer your question there, they were already like, at least with Troy, he was already full-fledged practicing priestcraft. He was getting gain doing it, but Brother Guerrero was not at that time. I don't know if he ever was. But as far as why did I go on it? Well, first off, I wouldn't have gone on it if they were going to monetize it. That was actually something that I made clear up front. So when I talked to Brother G and when I talked to Troy, I said I will come on and talk with you. And I don't care what we talk about. I don't care how long it is, because both of them reached out to me. I said, I don't care how long we talk. I don't care what we talk about. You can bring up anything, uncomfortable things. You can try to debate me. Like, I don't care. I only have one stipulation, and that's you can't monetize the video. You can't monetize the video that I'm on. And if I find out that you did, like, I'm gonna obviously be upset and press charges if I have to. And they both agreed to it, but Troy was a little bit more hesitant on that than Brother Guerrero. But that was something that I stipulated, and I've also made clear in the past. And it's why I assume part of the reason why I've never been invited on other channels, because during that time when Troy and Brother G asked me to be on, I was asked to be on a couple other shows. And when I brought up the I don't want the monetization, they said, well, we're gonna go another way. And so they didn't do that. And at the same time, Brother G or maybe it was just Troy asked Ammon and Topher if they wanted to go on his show, and then he found out that they were connected to me, and so either he at that point in time had hated me or realized that they wouldn't want the monetization either, and so then he canceled it. So then he canceled them being on the show. And so yeah, the whole monetization and the whole thing with Troy. Brother G was a very nice guy, very gracious. I never had any problem with him before or after. Troy, on the other hand, it was problems while recording live. Like I didn't like the dishonesty of it. Brother G just clicked record and we just went. Troy would stop the recording and have conversations with me about stuff that he didn't like, what was going on, and then he would click record again. And so like it was very, what you saw was actually a very dishonest representation of it. And Ashley and I had a couple experiences with him afterwards that were pretty hilarious. Not very good. So first and foremost, that's what was my requirement going in, which is why I've never been invited on anything else. All the priestcrafters know this about me at this point in time. And so they don't want me on because it's all about making money. And that doesn't that just tell you everything? You say, I won't come on your show unless it's demonetized, at least the video I'm on. And they say, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, that like you're laboring for gain. That's the only reason why you're doing this. Because, if you felt like, oh, it was inspiration that the Lord wanted me to invite this guy on my podcast, and then you turn him down purely because of money, well then you're laboring for money, and you're not doing the right thing. So that was going right in the gate. The second thing is I love being a missionary and I love talking to people, and I'm pretty good in these high debate situations. I don't like to debate though, so I won't just sit down and just argue with somebody. But I like sharing the truth, because the truth can stand on its own. So I like doing this kind of stuff. So that's why I did it. Yeah. I got accused at the time when I did Brother G's. I had to go to the church in order to do it because my internet was so bad. And at the time that I couldn't do a video as well like I can now. And so I had to go to the church in order to use the church's internet. And at that point in time, there was COVID going on and off, I believe, because the missionaries were always there, like always at the church doing nothing, and they were always hanging around the computers. And so when I got there, the missionaries were there, and I was like, "Oh, hi!" And then they were like, I told them what I was doing there. They're like, "Oh, can we like just be in the background?" And I'm like, "Sure." So the missionaries are actually in the video with me with the brother
I
G.
remember that. Yes.
And I
Yep.
had I had about two or three women that were like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe you'd use the missionaries to cloak how awful of a person you are." And like there was a bunch of people, like women, that were upset that I had like used the missionaries in a video like that, even though like it was not, it was completely incidental. Like they were just there and they wanted to be a part of it. And it's so funny how far we've slid just from then to now, because now missionaries are like making total D-bags of themselves, dancing and doing stupid stuff on the internet, and nobody bats an eye. And so,
Yep.
like how far that's changed in just these amount of years. Like women were genuinely upset that there was missionaries in the video behind me. To
Talking
like now,
about church-related stuff,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
versus dancing to some fun, funk music or something.
Yeah, and you knew it was completely demonetized too. So you knew it wasn't monetized. And
You
so
know what's you know what's funny about the fact that you asked those guys not to monetize it, um, or you've asked other people not to monetize something and they've declined, they've just altogether changed their minds and not done the video. I feel like it's even worse than them thinking, oh, I'm not going to get paid for that moment, so I'm not going to do it. I think it actually shows like a little bit of guilt because even if they didn't get paid for that video, it would still bring more eyes and more views and more clicks to the channel. Therefore, that would still assist them with further monetization down the track. So even though they don't make money on that video, they still get more in the long run.
yeah.
But the fact that they turned it down entirely tells me that in their minds they're thinking, I'm embarrassed. Like I don't feel right
Makes
about
me
this.
feel bad. Yeah.
It makes me feel bad that I would
But
have
I'm
to do that.
not enough to stop doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, because then I have to justify to myself why I'm doing it. And in order to just skip that justification entirely, I'm just not going to do it. I just don't want to deal with the fact that I'm monetizing the gospel. Does that make sense? I feel like it's almost an admission of guilt.
Either that or they're that big of penny pinching misers that like that even though it would bring them more money in the long run, they're still just like, no, like I like every
I
penny
can,
counts.
yeah, right. It could be. It could
It's
be.
either one of those two things, and neither of those are very good.
We had the same thing with another channel, Christian Homestead, when they were just getting fired up and he started making money off his channel. He offered he offered us to go on with him, and then a couple of days later, he quickly pulled that as soon
He
as he
was one of
realized that we're.
he was one of the guys, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
So he was
Yep.
one of them. So maybe it was the same thing. Maybe he realized that you guys were connected to me and the demon the he was one of the guys that invited me on.
There you go.
Didn't want to name names, but here we are.
He started
But yeah.
pumping out just a sheer insane amount of content too. It was multiple videos a day.
Because he lives on
And
it.
Oh, dude, and the
It's not pocket money
hilariousness,
for him. It's his livelihood.
the hilariousness of the hypocrisy of that channel is just like is lost on me why anybody would take him seriously. He made a channel about how important it was to homestead. Literally made a channel on why it's so important to prepare temporally in homestead for the second coming. And as soon as he had enough priestcraft blood money, sold it all. Moved into the city. He no longer farmsteads.
wild.
That's funny.
Bros, it's all an act. It's all an act. None of it's real.
Also, I don't want to cast stones. I'm not that guy normally, but you watch any of his videos, you come away at the end of it going, I don't know, I haven't learned
I know
anything more
less.
than I knew. Yeah, I now am dumber than I was going into this.
I
You
know
know,
less
you
about
get more
the subject
questions
than
at the end of it than you have answers. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm less sure about this than I ever was in my entire life.
yeah. Good luck to you.
Mhm.
Every single video used to finish. I don't know about now. I haven't watched anything in
Yeah,
years.
I don't know about
but
it. What do you think? I don't know. What do you
every
think?
every single video was like, so anyway, here's something, but I don't know about it. Do you know about it? I don't know about it. Smash that follow button, subscribe, hit the dingleberry bell,
Help me
and
get to the city.
pay for my Patreon, and maybe we'll work it out one day. But I don't know. See ya. See you on the next one.
Whereas, if you talk about truth, like Micah said, the truth stands for itself, right? If you talk about true things, truth, you'll come away with answers. You'll come away feeling good. You'll come away with the spirit having uplifted you and edified you. And
In
not
the
sitting there
right
going,
way.
what? Yeah. What's happening? Where am I?
How
You're
much
now-
time just passed?
You're now dumber and no less than you did before, apparently.
One
But
last thought on
felt
that.
so good.
On like why Micah would go on one of those podcasts. And I'm thinking like if I was to think about me, would I like if one of them guys said, "Hey, come on my podcast," for some reason they never would, but if they did, it would be the same stipulation. You can't monetize it. But my thinking is like, would you jump on a speeding, burning train to try and save it in any way you can? That's my kind of thought. Like, I think you'd have a snowflake's chance in hell of trying to
Yeah.
help them or change anything, but I don't know, man. You'd kind of want to try, like watching a priestcrafter just run themselves to hell and then run all their followers to hell with them. It's like, what can you do? So all you can do is go on and try and call it out if you can. That's Yep.
Amen. Yep. True that. All right, shall we?
I'm just waiting for some song.
Three brothers. Is there?
Oh, what's the next one?
Wrong song.
Oh,
This week's headlines, news of the week.
is there? Is there a song? All right, that was it. That was the song. Cool. Okay. This week's headlines, ladies and gentlemen, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Number one, the Middle East conflict suddenly becomes everyone's problem. War in Iran escalates across the region. I was listening to the radio on my way home from work, and it said that there are now 17 countries who have been directly implicated and involved now in this supposedly very quick takedown, very quick operation in Iran. There are now 17 countries involved. So that's great. That's just great. And you know what? We don't even know why.
Yeah.
You can take any conspiracy theory out the window for just 1 minute. And old Donsky went on the media and goes, we didn't, this is something that we didn't start, and we don't even know what we're doing, da da da. And then you got his what's the guy who's his Rubio, Marco Rubio, went on and said a completely different reason as to why they went into Iraq. They can't even decide within their own cabinet why they're at war. And so they can't tell the world why they're at war. And so the rest of the world is like, well, we are aligned with the United States, generally speaking, but this is not a defensive matter. And this is an unprovoked attack on a different country. How can we possibly get involved in this? And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There are now calls from our mate Israel for Australia to get into the fray. Now tell me this, what does Australia have anything to do with what's going on in Iran?
Well, Israel's probably your greatest ally too, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
our greatest. Yeah, they
It's
are.
it's somehow everyone's greatest ally.
All the
There's been
things
some.
that Israel's done for us. I can't
There's
count
already mass immigration, destabilization of
them.
of demographics and such. There was now I forgot what I was gonna say here. This drawing is just
They're
took me
greatest
out.
ally.
That is-
The greatest.
Oh, there's now talk that these what do they call them, rogue rockets from Iran. There's now talks of worries that something like the dome of the rock is just going to go kapoof, and Israel is just going to say, "Oh, Iran did it."
Yeah.
Iran did it. It was a missile that they shot and it just went off course and something, and it's like no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. So like in the fog of war, it's like it is like the it's where things like Epstein's Island get created. Like it's after the fog of war that we discover these Epstein Islands and we go, what just happened? What is going on here? But in the fog of war, man, stuff happens, and it's like they're candy. It's never let a good crisis go to waste. And so when we start escalating these things in the Middle East like this, and they want the Dome of the Rock wiped out, they want these things to happen, and they have a history of false flags and so forth. It worries me, obviously.
My
Um,
my lack of trust in anything actually, but my lack of trust in general, and especially in like, just a lot of things, is at an all time low. I just don't believe anything anymore. I've just been so bamboozled and discombobulated and
Jaded.
juxtaposed by by everything. I just can't believe anything, man. Again, I want to be careful what I say on here, but my honest opinion is I feel like the world is being played by Israel. I think Israel is playing everyone against each other right now. Like like my wife just sent me a text earlier, and she showed us an Australian base. I think it's in Dubai or in the UAE somewhere, but an Australian base got hit. It's like randomly, like an Australian base got hit. It's like they'll do anything to try and like now draw Australia into the fray. And I'm just like, man, we're being played, man. I don't know. Like, who wants this? Like, what's going on? Like, I know who wants this, you know. And again, that's why I think we're being played. And I can't trust
I have a lot
anyone
more I
or
want
anything.
to say on that regard as well, but I think I'm just going to keep it to
I know
myself
you got
for
to be
now.
careful, like, because
Well,
like
we'll just see.
we'll
I
find
mean, to be
ourselves
honest,
assassinated.
you'll
to
find
be honest,
yourself very suicidal.
Yeah.
I think we're
Uh,
just going to find as this war goes on, the culprit behind much of the instigation is going to be more and more apparent. So, I mean,
Yep.
we're just going to see this play out, and it's going to be very, very, very apparent.
I wonder
So
if
we
the
don't
man
need to
of
say too
sin
much.
will be revealed.
Yeah, but man, they are, I think that they understand that this is their last chance to really do all this, because the boomers are the last generation to really, and not
Believe it.
even that, yeah, to like, yeah, to the eat the, what do you call it, goyim slop? What did you
Boy
call
slop.
it?
He
Goy
goes slop. Yeah.
slop? Yeah, they're the last generation that were just so the propaganda was so effectively ingrained into their blood that it's just like you're just like, but look at this picture. And they're like, yeah, but Israel greatest ally. It's like they have PTSD. They just start like shaking. And Glenn Beck goes on and has to have an interview with an AI George Washington to try to
Oh,
get somebody to
don't
agree
get
with
me.
him.
Don't get
You
me
know,
started.
it's like nobody agrees. Nobody agrees. Everyone's out to get me. Well, as a boomer, you
I
know what
know.
I'm gonna do? Let's talk to
George
an AI George
Washington
Washington.
AI.
He'll agree with me. Yeah, who created AI?
Yeah.
Freaking dummies. Like
Yep.
obviously AI is gonna agree with this. It's the
The
stupidest.
boomers are going to slurp that goy slop down
Yeah.
like there's
So
no tomorrow.
So they're the last generation. It's it. They've already lost support worldwide everywhere. The last demographic that they even have is America, and it's American boomers. Everything under that, American boomers, even Gen X, is terrible. And by the time you get down to millennials and Gen Z, on both sides of the political spectrum, it's like it's not there. And so they understand that within an election or two, like it's just not going to happen. And America will become a one issue condition. Like it will get to a point in time shortly if the world doesn't end. It'll get to a point in time where like, are you supported by APAC? And it'll just be like you'll just get crushed, and that'll be it. Because nobody will vote for you. Um, and so like this is their last chance to really get this done. But we also know it's the end of the world, right? We know time's wrapping up. The times of the Gentiles was fulfilled. We're just ready for it to end. We're just ready for it to end. So
Yeah.
this is a fantastic drawing here. Like
I'm shocked
Product-
actually at how
how
good
good that is. Like this is phenomenal. Like
I usually just
this is
draw horns and a
amazing.
big smile and
This is awesome. I mean,
that's
production
artwork.
value. You get what you pay for.
Oh, it's free.
Millennials know how to use paint. Like
This
this
is
is
free.
awesome. Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
you get
this
more
is
than
definitely
you
free.
pay for when you listen to this. All
Yeah,
right,
I agree.
let's move
It's
on down to
huge.
number 2.
It's huge.
All right, give it to me. Number 2, McDonald's CEO demonstrates revolutionary one bite diet.
Oh,
Executive barely samples new Big Arch burger during promotional event.
And now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
spawned a bite off.
so funny,
It's
man.
hilarious.
Yeah, there's so many replicas of that video. It's so.
Do you want to just give
some
it
of them
to
are
me? Because
so
I
funny.
only saw a picture of him going
Oh,
to bite
dude.
it.
Oh
It-
yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Like there was this girl going around that would do like, "Oh, this is so good," and then it was like she wouldn't even bite it, and it reminded me of that. Like he had this big burger, and he like,
It's the Big
and
Arch, the new burger.
and then not only that, he like shows the camera. He's like, "Look at that big bite. Look at
Yeah.
that big bat, guys." And it's like it was like my son would have laughed at that. Like
Boy,
it
it's
was
like it reminds you of when what's the Zuckerberg and he was talking and they're like this guy's an alien. Remember, like they're like, how's this guy human when he was talking about answering
Yeah.
those questions and like sipping water, like he didn't even know how to sip water or whatever. It reminds you of that. Like this guy, he's like, oh, this is a fantastic product. I love this product. This is a great McDonald's product. I'm gonna eat a product. I'm gonna eat one of these products. And watch me eat this product, and he can't even hold. It's like you can tell.
Can't
this
even
guy's
hold
never
a
eaten
burger.
in his life. He's like, how to? Oh, it's such a good product. I can't even hold it. And it's like, and then it reminds you of Krusty the Clown when he did his Krusty Burger ad, and he takes a bite, and then as soon as the camera
Oh,
stops rolling, he's
that
like,
was terrible.
some of the juices got in my throat. Like it's like, and he's like, oh. He goes, just so you know, I had one of these products before we started filming, and I'm going to eat this for my lunch. And it's like, sure you are, mate. And he goes, ready? And he,
It's so bad. It's so
literally,
bad.
like, takes the tiniest little edge bite out of the bread, and then he goes, look at that. That's a big bite for a big boy, or whatever he says. And I'm like, there's barely any bite there, mate. What are you talking about? It's just so funny, man. It's so funny.
It reminds me of I can't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was an Australian. Didn't an Australian mess up eating something really hilarious? Didn't someone eat a burrito sideways in America? Like they got a burrito, they're like, oh, such a great burrito. Oh,
There was something
Oh.
actually. There was. What was that?
They
Yeah,
they
there
do that
was.
all the time over here, but like it's like you having a good day, and then they'll be like, check this out. So there's a lot of that stuff, but I don't know how much of that's real.
someone in Australia did eat something in a really weird way, and I feel like it was like a Bunnings hot dog or
Like
something.
a hot dog? Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he
Something like that.
didn't know how to handle it. Anyway, it's funny when you see people that are not used to being regular humans pretend like they try and take it down a notch to reconnect with regular people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of them are coming out. The Burger King person, like they all are coming out, and they're like I'll eat a burger. Like this is ridiculous. Like, and even the Burger King guy even came out and was like, with it was like made a video that was like, what in the heck is wrong with our chicken nuggets? Like, why do our chicken nuggets suck so bad? So it was like he even came out with a video that was like completely honest. That was like we need to fix this problem. Like, let's get back to like the way our chicken nuggets used to be. Like, we're listening to your feedback. Blah 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 blah. So it's like it's like people hate this unauthentic stuff. We just hate it, and
Yeah.
and I think that people just are starting to figure it out. Like, just a little bit younger, like even just Gen X, they get it a little bit more. By the time you get down to the millennials, it's like we just get it. But like you watch these boomers, and it's just like, look at this big bite for a big boy, and it's like, who is watching this? Like, is my grandma like, oh, that does look tasty? Like, who is buying this? Yeah.
Maybe he knows
Hello.
what's in the burger. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh, here
We
it is.
still-
I was trying to find this.
We still don't know if it's
Yeah, yeah.
cow meat or other.
Hello, fellow humans. Watch me eat this product. Like, oh, there's this. They now fair play to McDonald's. They marketed off this really, really well. Look at this. Let me share my screen here for a second.
Oh, I gotta
I'll take
stop
it.
share then.
Okay,
Yep.
let me share this because it is classic. It's really, really smart, is what it is. Look at this. And they posted it, and the comment, the description was, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Take a bite of our new product, right? And just the yeah, look at the top comment there that they posted with, can't believe this got approved. So they really well played. I mean, they marketed off it, you know. So your CEO does something embarrassing, and they marketed really, really well off it. I got to hand that to them. Very, very smart. Yeah. That
If
was
you
good.
haven't seen it, it's worth watching at least once. It's very
Oh, I'm gonna
comical.
see it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go out there and buy myself a dehydrogenated gum-based dairy, not non-dairy gum-based beverage.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. Yeah. Yeah. They call them shakes. Shakes. Huh. You don't know what you're
Don't know
getting.
what you're getting.
Dude, the
Gelatinous
crusty
non-dairy gum-based beverage?
the crusty comparison is so on,
So
man.
good.
Ugh, some of it in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Moving on down, shaking it on up, as Ammon would say, unless he's got some.
Yep, moving on down, shaking up. Number 3, the LDS Church drops new hymns. Moses
Good.
finally gets a soundtrack. The 12 new hymns released with strong Old Testament themes. I will tell. I don't know which 12 these are, but I will say this: we have a very musical ward, and
do.
as soon as they drop some heat, our ward picks it up and runs with it, to the point where they're printing out sheets and just dropping it all over the pews on Sunday. They do one run through on the piano on a verse without the lyrics, and then they just expect everyone to sing. And it actually works in our ward because people like to sing, but it's fun singing new things after 40 years of singing the same things.
It's really cool that they're doing this. I love that they're doing this. Do you guys have the new, like, so in my ward, and I just assumed this was everyone's ward, in my ward, the new hymns are all in a black sleeve, you know, the clear sleeve binder. Do you guys have that? Or is that just my ward? I just assumed all wards were doing that.
Yeah, no one has that.
We have that.
What?
Okay, you do.
Yeah, and they print it off, and it's like all like 1,050 and 1,080. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Any opportunity to sing something new, good times. Yeah.
Dang. Well, we don't get that. Anyway,
Nice that Moses is getting a look in. That's cool.
go Moses.
All
right,
right,
shall we move on down?
Moses.
Number 4, brothers. 3 brothers plus 1. 4, Zion or bus population growth continues. If you haven't heard, there are 2 new babies born this week, Zephyr and Hiram. So congratulations to
Congratulations.
those wonderful families with your 2 beautiful baby boys.
Why is it two
Look at
dads?
those.
That's what I asked.
It's actually worse. It's worse than you think if you look at how badly AI draws faces. If you have a
Oh, don't look
the
at that.
baby,
That's so funny. I'm like, why is there two dads here with the?
we can fix this.
Yes. Oh,
We can fix this.
what are we even doing?
Good
This is,
times. No,
selective
it's great.
genetic engineering.
Like I said, enough good people aren't having kids. You know, whether by choice or whatever it is, but like the birth rates, oh man, don't even get me started on the birth rates and like what that means for 10, 15, 20 years from now in each country. The birth rates in a lot of countries are so low that the native inhabitants of those countries will be outbred and what's the word? Outnumbered in 10, 15, 20 years. And it's almost irreversible in many of them. So France is one of the places. So go to France now if you want to go to France, because it won't be France soon.
We're not really worried about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's also a good point. You know, like it's
No,
all
no,
coming
no,
to it.
No, I meant France specifically. Australia, we'd like to keep that Australian, but France, eh.
Well, it's funny because Australia is one of the ones where it is multicultural by default almost, but like some of those other countries like France, it's like, France is France, Paris is Paris, but it's like
Not
really
not anymore. Not anymore,
not
is it?
anymore. Yeah. So, like I said, not enough good people having babies, so it's really, really nice that people are having babies. And welcome to the world, little ones. It's good to have you. Good names. Love Hiram.
Right.
That's obviously a great name.
I have a woman here staked into the kitchen. So that's what we have here. So we definitely have women staked in the kitchen making babies and the men with halos. Like that's we're definitely leaning into the weird stereotypes of Latter-day Saints here. So this is good. But congratulations you two on you two couples on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful news. Let's
Zephyr's
move
a
on
cool
down to
name
number
too.
5.
Hiram. I just noticed there's a big Z. Hiram Z.
Zephyr.
Hiram Z.
Hey,
What's
number 5.
up? Yep. I'm going.
Yep. Here we go. Number 5. Saturday night plans officially canceled, boys and girls. If you haven't yet heard, and this is the first time I'm hearing about it, General Conference is no longer going to include a Saturday evening session. No more Saturday nights for anyone. That's it. They're off the cards.
Oh, there needs to be an
Interesting.
L there.
It's all right. You get the gist. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
It could be back next week. You never know.
Yeah, they're certainly going back and forth on a couple
It's
of things,
so
but
interesting.
it's so interesting. Well, what I do note is, I mean, look, we're at 2 hours of church after a billion years of 3 hours of church. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know. They're streamlining constantly, so just goes along with that to me. I don't know.
Oh,
I
I,
don't
I
really.
have I have a totally different take on this.
Oh, go.
It's a Cartman take. It's definitely a Cartman take. It's definitely a women ruin everything. And when I was in high school, like there was like these things that would constantly happen where women would be like, "I want my own basketball team," and then they would like
Uh,
create a basketball team and then bankrupt both the boys and the females basketball teams, and then like they wouldn't be able to go to their like trips and on their things, and it was like, well, why do we get punished because you're terrible at this? So I think this is just hilarious. That was like, okay, we're no longer gonna have priesthood session. Priesthood session's gone. We're gonna involve the women. We're going to involve the whammon in it, and because I'm telling you, this is how the apostates and how the feminists are going to view this. They're going to view this as, well, the church just couldn't handle, not having priesthood session, so they just got rid of Saturday session entirely. That's how they're going to view this. And it's like you just can't. It's like all these movies out. Oh well, men just can't handle all these strong female leads, and it's like no, they just don't like crap movies. Like they just don't like this poorly written garbage. Like they can handle strong women. This is just trash, and I don't care what people say. I don't care what you say. The Saturday session was not nearly even remotely close to as beloved by both men and female as the Priestess session was. So
yeah, I
you
missed the operation
don't
session.
even give me that. So it was clearly not enjoyed. It was clearly a downgrade, and now they're getting rid of it. And so I say, thank goodness, because it was all it was depressing every single time knowing
Yeah.
what was.
There
It
was something
used to be
special about priesthood sessions.
it
Oh, I
used to be
love it.
one of the best sessions of conference the last 2, 3, 4 years, whenever since this has happened. It's not been. And so I'm glad. I am so glad they got rid of it. Just give us less conferences, give us more talks by apostles that I at least feel like I'm fulfilling some mandate listening to, and let's do it.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it forces you to focus on quality, don't it? Less quantity, quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as long as they give us better quality. I mean, you know,
Please, at least just do that, please.
yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. Like in the last 5, 7, 8 years, things have really changed. And for those that care about conferences and care about studying this, they don't just show up at general conference, let it all just kind of wash over you, and don't think about or read about it ever again unless it comes up in your priesthood or relief society. If you've actually been studying this, it's been very interesting. Some of the things that have actually changed and been really interesting, like the apostles and prophets speaking less at the conferences. That like it used to be primarily just them speaking multiple times, in some cases, right?
Is it because
Every
they're so old, you reckon, as well? I don't know. Like, I feel like
No,
Yeah,
they
uh,
they
you
can
know, here's
talk.
here's the other thing though that I was going to say, and then so they said, okay, well, we're only going to go to one, and they did say because of the work. So they didn't say it was because they were old. They just said it was so much work to produce a conference talk, which as people know the content I produce, that's kind of. But then what then started happening is people started noticing that general conference talks started to get reused more often. That general authorities would give a talk and we'd be like, this is exactly like the talk that President Eyring gave back in 1993. This is identical to the talk that so and so gave back in 2004. And
Yeah.
so it's interesting because it's like we're getting less of the prophets and apostles and we're getting repeats.
Repeat.
Um, so
Which brings up the point that we've often talked about, which is if we as a group of people aren't truly prepared for the good stuff, then the Lord is not going to inspire his leaders to give us the good stuff.
correct. Second Nephi 27. Yep.
So it's not necessarily the fact that they don't want to, or they can't, or there's no intention to, but if we're not ready for it, then they're basically held back.
Yeah.
interesting
Sounds like we're in
side
those
note
camps.
about conference talks. I can't remember who I was talking to about this the other day, but someone because Elder Mers, who's now 70 from Perth, and he gave a conference talk, and so obviously many people in Perth know him personally on a personal level. And I think someone told me the other day that when he gave his conference talk, he had to edit it 26 times. He had to redo his talk 26 times. I was like, dang. Just because I apparently have a huge revision team when you go to do a conference talk, and a whole team to make sure you don't spurt any false doctrine, anything like that. And so it goes to them, they read through it, they come back with a whole bunch of, fix this, fix that, whatever. So,
You know why that's interesting? Because they don't seem to use the same kind of team for what they put on their website.
Yeah. And they clearly didn't comb through Elder Bednar's talk very well from last conference. I'll tell you that right now because the just like this with the AI messing up the baby's face and the missing the L on longer, there was some AI going on in Elder Bednar's last talk that some of the references and some of the things that were written in third person. And Elder Bednar likes talking about. It's like, yeah, that's not how humans write their own
do you mean like
footnotes.
when it was like published on the church website?
Yeah.
It's written weirdly. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised, eh? Jeez Louise, it's really hard to escape the whole AI thing.
And if you're familiar with AI, if you've gotten into it, which by the way, apparently isn't as big as people think, it's only like 10 to 20% of the population is starting to actually use this stuff more.
Oh.
It's not as much as you think. You start to recognize it. Like we just
Oh,
know
you
that
can
that's what we're
spot
dealing
it.
with.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
spot it. Anyone who's used it and seen what it outputs, you go, oh, someone chat GPT this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look at stuff and go, oh wow, this was like entirely like there's none of their voice in this. Like you can tell how much it did all the work for them or how they used it. But yeah, you can tell it's ChatGPT. So yeah, it's been now two conferences or two or was the third one ago that Elder Bednar's like had some funny heat with his talks. Like two or three conferences ago, he got nailed for apparently quote unquote plagiarizing because he took a lot of what he said from um, about the parable of the king's feast and the wedding. He
Yeah.
took a lot. He took a lot of that from somebody. It didn't actually reference him, and so they got
Because if they
upset at him.
reference it, it's fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so he didn't actually reference it, and so like they had to edit his talk on the church's website, and it now references it. And yeah, and then this talk with the clear chat GPT or whatever he was using in the actual. But anyway, so I don't think it's, I don't know. I'd like to believe it's scrutinized, but it's like as much as we hope it is. But I've seen what gets put on the church's website, and not only that, like in the heat of all of this, like the church producing or promoting all of these, like this is the church's paper on blacks in the priesthood and
Yeah.
polygamy, like
Yep.
in the midst of all this, and trying to backtrack like things and saying, well, we don't actually know anything. In the midst of all that, they're in the middle of the Book of Mormon Come Follow Me manual, or Come Follow Me study program. It was like, and they were cursed with black skin. Like it was like right there in the Come Follow Me manual, and people were like, What is this?" And so the church had to come out and apologize and be like, we don't know how this got in here." And so then they had to like edit it out, and but yeah. So if you have one of those original Come Follow Me manuals, it's like right, like the first editions, it's like right in there. And so like you'd like to think it's as scrutinized as you think, but like I think there's so many moving parts, just like
So
a
much.
government. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and people have different agendas, and so
Yep.
somebody snuck through one there in the old come follow me manual there. But
Got one
There's just
past
so
it.
much content. There's so much
Yeah.
content, man. You know.
yeah,
It also makes me think, like, for something like that Elder Bednar talk where he took something that someone else said or whatever. I wonder, like, because how often it must happen where they have a thought about something and they go, "Oh, this is awesome. I'll talk about this thing," and they're not, without realizing that this was something they heard elsewhere, and then
yeah,
they're thinking like, "Oh, they can't remember where they heard it from," and they just think maybe it's something that's just come to me or whatever. And then it turns out you just plagiarized someone's whole other talk. That happens, like it happens to like comedians and stuff as well. Like someone will tell the same joke that another
it
comedian.
happens in Zion or Bust all the time.
Oh yeah, it must do, right? Well, because you would hear stuff all the time, and then you go, "Oh, I've had a great idea," da 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 da, and then you don't realize that you've actually heard someone else give that
Yeah.
whole thing.
How many times
You
I've
know
been
what?
like, "Oh yeah, that's chapter 1 in the Macro Last Day timeline." That's
Yeah. You know what? The emergence of the internet, of Google and AI have really killed the ability for old timers to tell really wacky tales. Because as soon as they know, as soon as people they tell their weird old tales that they can't source, someone's going to be like, Google said
Googling
that's
that bad
fake.
boy. Yeah.
According to Google, you're lying.
like
Yeah.
freaking Biden when he was like, I was there. And it was like Google, and it was like he wasn't anywhere near the trade towers. Like, what was he talking about?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, they could just get away with it. They could just say whatever they wanted.
Yeah. And Hillary Clinton's like, "We were taking fire on the tarmac," and it's like,
Yeah, we were taking fire.
"Were you?"
Everyone's like, whoa, cool story. Where did this happen?
Yeah.
Google's like, yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, man,
Very good. All right, what do we got up next, boys?
this is it. Let somebody had
Well,
something
that's
else I want to share. This is the spiritual thought coming up.
Oh, excellent.
This is it. Spiritual thought and rant, I guess.
The weekly rant. Yeah.
Yeah. So here it is. Spiritual thought. Oh boy, come on down. Spiritual thought
Spiritual thought.
of the week. Go into spirit voice there. We're good. Okay, so here's a quote from Elder Carlos ESA. I asked our resident president of the scribes, like librarian seems way too low. Like it seems like way too low for way too low for Jessica. We need to come up with a better unpaid title. We're all unpaid. We're all unpaid here. We're all paid by the all the glory of God. But so I asked her, "What's your favorite quote on this subject?" And this is what she gave me from Elder Carlos ESA. There is no
Essay.
balance. Essay. There is no balance in living on the fringes of our faith, with one foot in Zion and one foot in Babylon. We cannot be sinners part of the time and saints part of the time. We cannot be servants of the Lord one moment and people of the world the next. It won't work. It smacks of hypocrisy. Those who attempt to do so teeter on the brink of a disaster. As James stated, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And then I have here Revelation chapter 3, because I'm currently doing the Understanding Revelation series, and this is what's coming up. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And so the commitment this week, brothers and sisters, is make the choice to be all in for Christ or all out. Be all in or all out. For being hot or cold is better than being lukewarm. And that's the commitment here. And I am like, and I'm talking to Jessica about this. Like this last month, Ashley's been having drive because this in vitro thing is in Chicago, and so that's a 5 to 6 hour drive, and just one way. So we've been having to do this multiple times, and so it's like there's been 2 nights this month alone that I like literally didn't get any sleep. None. I didn't go to bed. We did stuff. And I just went through the next day. 2 days this month, no sleep. Jessica had a night that she was talking about where she had like what she was saying, 15-30 minutes sleep. Not something that I would recommend. Just like Jessica said, I'm not recommending this, but like this idea that like you don't have time to do the things that you say you're going to do, or that oh, I'm just focusing on other things and blah blah blah. It's like, are we all in or are we all out? And it's like I know what I'm able to do, and I know how much of a worthless turd I am. And if it's like, if I know what I'm able to do with the Lord, and Jessica knows what she's able to do with the Lord, if we know what we're able to do with the Lord, like I know what you're all able to do. And so it's like we want something, right? We want something. Yeah, that's me over there. That's me. And so it's I just here's the thing. I've always said teaching people to fight against something isn't as effective as teaching people what to fight for. But here's the problem. You say fighting for Zion is worth something. Fighting to win the Super Bowl is worth something. You say fighting for this thing is worth something. But here's the thing, though, brothers and sisters. Not everyone gets the thing. Only those who strive and do what's required for the thing get the thing. And so what ends up happening is it eventually gets to a point in time where you say, hey, you know what? Like this cookie is worth fighting for. But in order to get the cookie, you have to walk to the store, right? And it eventually comes to a point in time where there's a group of people that are like, yeah, well, I just don't feel like walking to the store. And it's like, okay, that's fine. And then they're like, well, why am I not getting the cookie? Like, what's up with the cookie? And it's like, you had to walk to the store to get the cookie, folks. You had to walk to the store. And then it's like, you can't judge me. You only Jesus can judge me. And it's like, Jesus was the one who said you had to walk to the store to get the cookie. He's the guy at the store giving out the cookies. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just repeating you. Well, like, I just don't like how we're being shamed into walking to the store to get the cookie. And it's like, I'm not shaming you. I'm just reminding you that like the cookie's worth fighting for, but you don't get the cookie sitting on your backside back here. And it really turns into the self-justification of the lukewarm is phenomenal. Like it's almost something to be studied, because it's like, how can you convince yourself so thoroughly that you can make so little effort to get off your backside and try to move towards the cookie shop, but still are so utterly convinced because of the love of Jesus or some false idea of grace that you're gonna get the cookie regardless. It's what entirely creates the dynamic and the juxtaposition between the wise virgins and the foolish virgins, right? Because it's like the foolish virgins still had the gall to show up. They still showed up expecting that they were going to have the oil delivered, expecting. I didn't take any thought to go and to get that life-saving temporal oil. Took no thought, but I still believe it's going to be provided. And it's like it's just not the way it's plays out, folks. And so we give people something to fight for, but you give somebody to fight for because you know it's not going to be easy, because nothing worth fighting for is easy. You know, if you want a good marriage, it doesn't just fall out of heaven on your lap. Like, it's something you have to fight for. You have to work for every day. If you want Zion, if you want these things, it's not something that just falls out of heaven, right? Like, people really actually believe that there's going to be this pre-tribulation rapture, or just Zion, the New Jerusalem, is just going to plop out of heaven and just be there tomorrow with no work or sanctification on our part. It's just ludicrous. So make the choice today. That's my commitment to do this, because if I am a worthless, smelly turd and I can do what I can do, I know what you can do.
Good brand.
Amen. And I think in addition to that, one thing that's really important is that sometimes the best that you can do in a day, the best you can do in a week, the best you can do in a month is not going to be the same as another month. Maybe you're overwhelmed with things. Maybe life has just really got to you that week, that day, that month. But it doesn't mean you slow down your righteous pace permanently. It doesn't mean you don't jump back on the horse as soon as the waves have passed of your life. And so what I hate to see is that people, they're running, they're doing all these wonderful things, and then all of a sudden they just disappear. And every now and then it happens, and we go, hang on a second, where is that guy? What happened to that guy that was always putting up these, maybe it's like spiritual thoughts. It's always putting up these spiritual thoughts all the time. And all of a sudden you go, oh, that guy's completely unfriended every single one of us and has disappeared. And he's just gone. And you're like, man, wow, that's so sad.
Or their parents.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking one specifically where it was like he had made this amazing post, just awesome post. And then, like, within like a month, his parents had unfriended us all and left. And then, like, he had become kind of MIA. And it was like, what? And there was like nothing since. Like, nothing.
I know the
Yeah.
one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. And I'll talk to some of these people, they'll send me DMs and it's like, yeah, my parents just decided to leave the church. And it's like, what? And so it's, who weren't in Zion or Bust or anything, but just like, it's crazy how quickly a testimony that's not nourished will just crush. And so I second what Ammon's saying here, but more than that, man, if you're going to lose your momentum on anything, man, like, losing your spiritual is so hard it's just like working out, right? You stop going to the gym, but it's like, it's hard to get back into it.
Yeah.
Here's what
Very
kind of
true.
stood out. Here's what kind of stood out to me as you went through this. He said it smacks of hypocrisy, right? Trying to have one foot in Zion and one foot in Babylon. And to me, if you're talking about hypocrisy, it's also dishonest. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a dishonesty to that. If you, as a Latter-day Saint, let's say, it's just talking specifically about us, if you're trying to have one foot in Zion and one foot in Babylon, and actually trying to do that, like, we're trying to, I mean, I speak for myself, I speak for us, we're trying to keep our feet in Zion, and we're, like, unfortunately thrust into Babylon, not because we want to be there, right? But I'm not trying to keep a foot in Babylon. But if you are, and you're Latter-day Saint, you're trying to keep a foot in Babylon, he says hypocrisy, there's a dishonesty with that. You're not, I don't know. I just feel like you've got a Babylon face and a Zion face. And I don't think, obviously, you can't have both. And to me, I feel like if you're doing that, you're like one slip away from, like, falling into one. But the thing is, you won't fall into the Zion one. Do you know what I mean? The one that you're one slip away from falling into is the Babylon one, and that's what you see
slip
happen.
into that one. That's right.
You slip into it, like, you're already a foot into it. It's just so easy to fall into that one.
Yep.
It's not easy to fall into Zion one. It takes
You have
work.
to work.
It takes effort.
Yep.
It takes sanctification. It takes all this. What you can fall into is Babylon. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. So do not keep one foot in there. You got to get your feet out.
Your backside
Your
can just
backside.
fall right in butter.
Keep it in butter. Keep it in the butter. Not in the Babylon.
Ammon likes his backside in butter.
That's where I stay. Backside and butter, boys.
So
And
make the choice.
we make time for things we find important too. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Everyone
So,
does.
yeah.
And if a man shall gain the world but lose his soul, what has he gained? And so, it's people need to understand that. So, like people will say over here, I don't know if they'll say it over in Australia. They'll say God, family, country. That's what they'll say. And they'll say it all the time. And I'll tell you this, my experience watching these conservative men is, and it's not even close. To them, it is family, country, God. If the choice comes between God, something godly, something godly pursuit, or their family, they're choosing their family. 100 times out of 100. If it comes down to God or their country or their politics, I'm choosing my politics. I'd rather listen to my political brain than follow the prophet. So like this idea that it's God, family, country. I watch your actions. I can see you, and we are way too family, country, God, and so our priorities are screwed up. It needs to be God, because what's the point of saving your family if you don't gain exaltation? What's the point? My family loved me. We had all this fun. We hung out. What does it matter if you lose that connection to them in the end? Like what did you gain?
Nothing. Doesn't even matter.
True that.
Amen.
Ammon's really, we've really enjoyed the coloring this time. This is
It's been really fun.
you wouldn't know that we're millennials and aging. You wouldn't know. It's like we're like kids with like the paint. Ooh, with our finger paints. Ooh, this is oh, this is so fun.
I'm just grateful this isn't chalk on a chalkboard because that kills me.
Oh, for the smell
The
or the
sound,
eyes. Oh, the
feel.
sound.
Everything. Yeah, everything about it. It just kills me.
So that's it,
I'll tell
brothers and
you what.
sisters.
You get what you pay for in these videos, and then some.
And then some.
Absolutely.
It's worthless. Like it. Worthless poop.
All right, am I wrapping this bad boy up?
Yeah, we can.
Excrement. That wraps it up once again this week. For those of you that have accidentally clicked on it, we appreciate you. It's nice to have you hang around right all the way through to the end. Those of you who tune into these videos regularly, it's lovely to have you with us. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your support. And we're grateful that it is not financial. We don't need any financial support whatsoever. We just love you guys. We want to be with you. We want to talk about these things. If you got any questions, you got any comments, please drop them below in Discord, in Facebook, anywhere you like. As long as we can read them, we love them. And this is coming once again from your favorite
Three brothers.
So grab your
That's
guns.
we love you.
Next Three Brothers.
Love you, brothers and sisters. Bye bye.